I remember the exact moment I realized my husband wanted me dead. Not in some dramatic, movie scene way. No hired assassins, no staged accidents. Just a simple truth whispered 3 feet from my hospital bed while machines beeped my failing heartbeat into the sterile air. I wasn't supposed to hear it. The doctor said I was too deep in the medically induced coma, too sedated, too far gone. But consciousness is a funny thing. Sometimes your body shuts down while your mind stays sharp, trapped, listening. And what I heard that Tuesday afternoon in room 304 of Sacred Heart Hospital would destroy my husband's life as completely as he tried to destroy mine. Let me tell you how a woman in a coma orchestrated the perfect revenge. 6 months earlier, my life looked perfect from the outside. Cassandra Morgan, 38 years old, successful commercial real estate broker, married to Dr. Devin Morgan, a charming orthopedic surgeon at one of Chicago's top hospitals. We lived in a pristine 4-bedroom colonial in Oak Park, drove matching luxury SUVs, took annual trips to Europe. I made good money, excellent money actually. Over 15 years, I built a thriving business brokering high-end commercial properties. My commission last year alone was $890,000. Devin did well too, but my income consistently outpaced his by a significant margin. Not that it mattered. We were partners, or so I thought. We'd been married for 12 years. No children. My choice initially, then later, when I changed my mind around age 35, it just never happened. Tests showed nothing wrong with either of us. Unexplained infertility, they called it. Devin seemed disappointed, but said he was fine either way. We talked about adoption. Eventually, my sister Natalie lived 2 hours away with her husband Marcus and their 3 kids. She worked as a nurse practitioner at a family clinic. We were close, texting daily, visiting monthly. She adored Devin, always calling him the perfect brother-in-law, praising how attentive he was, how lucky I was. My best friend since college, Simone, was a family law attorney. Sharp, cynical about marriage after handling hundreds of divorces, but even she approved of Devin. If they were all like him, she'd say, I'd be out of business. Looking back, the signs were there. Small things I rationalized away. Devin's late nights at the hospital increased. Complicated surgeries, he'd explain, kissing my forehead. You know how it is. I did. I worked late too, showing properties, negotiating deals. His phone developed a password I didn't know. When I asked, he laughed. Hospital security requirements. HIPAA stuff. You know how paranoid they are. I accepted it. Unexplained purchases on our credit card. Jewelry I never received. Anniversary gifts for the office staff, he said. You know how demanding they are. I believed him. Weekend conferences that seemed more frequent. Continuing education credits, he explained. Want to keep my license current. Made sense. The distance in bed, less frequent sex, and when it happened, he seemed distracted, mechanical. Just stressed, he assured me. Big cases coming up. I understood. I was stressed too. I ignored every red flag because I loved him. Because I trusted him. Because I'd built my entire adult life around the certainty that Devin Morgan was the one constant I could rely on. God, I was stupid. It started with headaches. March brought them, dull, persistent aches behind my eyes that Advil barely touched. Then dizziness. I'd stand up from my desk and the room would tilt. Twice I had to pull over while driving because my vision blurred. You're working too hard, Devin said, massaging my temples. Slow down, Cass. The deals will still be there. But it got worse. Nausea in the mornings. Fatigue, so crushing I'd fall asleep at my desk. Brain fog that made closing deals nearly impossible. I'd forget client names mid-sentence, lose track of conversations. Maybe you're pregnant, Natalie suggested hopefully over FaceTime. I took 3 tests, all negative. By April, I'd lost 8 pounds without trying. My clothes hung loose. Colleagues commented on how thin I looked. Devin frowned with concern, scheduled blood work through his hospital connections. Everything's normal, he reported, showing me printouts I was too exhausted to interpret. Probably just stress and overwork. Your body's telling you to slow down. I tried. Cut back on showings. Delegated more to my assistant. But the symptoms intensified. By early May, I could barely get out of bed some days. You need to see someone, Simone insisted when I canceled lunch for the 3rd time. This isn't normal. Devin agreed. Set up an appointment with an internist. Dr. Patricia Wells, mid-50s, kind eyes, thorough. She ran more tests, blood panels, thyroid checks, vitamin levels. Mrs. Morgan, I'm concerned, she said at my follow-up. Your liver enzymes are elevated, significantly, and your kidney function is declining. Have you been taking any medications, supplements, herbal remedies? Just my multivitamin, I said. And the vitamin D Devin gives me. He's been worried about my levels. She made a note. What brand? I don't know. He gets them from the hospital pharmacy. Medical grade, he says. Her pen paused. Does he give them to you daily? Every morning with breakfast. Why? I'd like you to bring in the bottle. For the next week, I want you to keep a detailed log. Everything you eat, drink, any supplements. Time of day, how you feel after. Can you do that? Something in her tone made my stomach clench. You think something I'm taking is making me sick? Before I continue, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I love hearing from you. And if this story resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I think we need to rule out all possibilities, Dr. Wells said carefully. Environmental toxins, medication interactions, contaminated supplements. Let's be thorough. I started the log that night. Tuesday, May 14th, 7 a.m. Multivitamin, vitamin D capsule, both given by Devin. Scrambled eggs, toast, orange juice. 8:30 a.m. Mild nausea. 10 a.m. Severe headache, dizziness. By Friday, a pattern emerged. Every morning after taking the vitamins, within 90 minutes, I felt worse. The fog deepened, the nausea intensified. But if I skipped breakfast and the vitamins, I felt marginally better. Saturday morning, I conducted an experiment. Told Devin I wasn't hungry, skipped the vitamins. By noon, my head was clearer than it had been in weeks. Sunday, same thing. Monday, I let him give me the pills but palmed them, flushing them later. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no vitamins, increasing clarity. By Friday, I could think again. And what I thought terrified me. That evening, while Devin was at the hospital for evening rounds, I searched our medicine cabinet, found the vitamin bottle. Plain white label, no brand name, handwritten, vitamin D3, 5,000 IU. But the pills inside looked wrong. Not the soft gel capsules I expected. Hard tablets. Off-white, slightly chalky. I took 2 pills from the bottle and hid them in my jewelry box. Then I called Dr. Wells's office, left an urgent message. She called back within an hour. Mrs. Morgan, what's wrong? I need those pills tested. The vitamin D pills. I think. My voice cracked. I think something's wrong with them. Silence. Then, bring them to my office first thing Monday morning. Don't take any more. Do you understand? None. I haven't been taking them for a week. Good. And Mrs. Morgan, don't tell your husband about this. Not yet. That's when I knew. When a doctor tells you not to tell your spouse, it means she suspects what you suspect. That the person who promised to love you in sickness and in health is the one making you sick. I barely slept that weekend. Devin noticed I seemed better, praised my decision to rest more. See, I told you that you just needed to slow down. He smiled, kissed my forehead. Maybe we should go away next month. Beach vacation. Just the 2 of us. I smiled back, nodded agreed. While inside, ice crystallized in my veins. Monday morning, I met Dr. Wells at her office before official hours. Handed her the pills in a sealed plastic bag. I'm sending these to an independent toxicology lab, she said. Results in 3 to 5 days. In the meantime, I want you to avoid anything your husband prepares for you. Food, drinks, medications. Anything. You think he's poisoning me? She met my eyes. I think we need to know what's in these pills. The toxicology report arrived on Thursday. Dr. Wells called me directly. Mrs. Morgan, can you come to my office? Now. Her tone told me everything. I was there in 20 minutes. She closed the door, sat across from me, and slid a folder across her desk. The pills contain colchicine. It's a medication used to treat gout, but it's highly toxic in the wrong doses. Prolonged exposure causes exactly what you've been experiencing: nausea, fatigue, organ damage. Eventually, complete liver and kidney failure. The room tilted. He's been poisoning me. These pills are prescription only. Your husband, as a physician, would have access. Cassandra, I'm obligated to report this. We need to involve the police. No. The word came out sharp. Not yet. If you continue being exposed. I'm not taking them anymore. But if we go to the police now, he'll know I know. He'll destroy evidence. Claim it was a mistake. A mislabeled bottle. I need proof. Concrete proof of intent. Dr. Wells looked torn. Legally I should. Give me 2 weeks. Please. I'll document everything. Build a case. Then we go to the police with something they can actually use. She finally nodded. 2 weeks. But if your condition worsens, if anything happens, I'm going straight to the authorities. I left her office with a copy of the toxicology report and a plan forming in my head. First step, find out who Devin was doing this for. Men like him don't kill their wives without motivation. Money, I assumed. My income, my assets. But we had a prenup. His idea, ironically, back when he was the higher earner. In a divorce, I kept everything I'd brought in, everything I'd earned. He'd get minimal alimony at best. Unless I died. Then as my spouse, he inherited everything. Nearly $2 million in real estate investments, retirement accounts, my business. Our house, titled jointly, worth $850,000. Life insurance policies totaling another $1 million. 4 million reasons for Devin Morgan to become a widower. But was it just about money? Or was there someone else? I hired a private investigator. Simone recommended him. Marcus Chun, former FBI, discreet, expensive. I met him at a coffee shop in a neighboring suburb. I need everything. I told him. Phone records, credit cards, where he goes, who he sees. And I need it fast. 2 weeks, Chin said. I'll have a complete picture. While Chin worked, I played the perfect recovering wife. Told Devin I was feeling better, probably just needed rest like he'd said. Started taking the vitamins again. Actually sugar pills I'd bought at Walgreens, swapping them into the bottle when he wasn't looking. Kept the original poison pills hidden in my car, labeled and dated for evidence. I was energetic, affectionate, grateful. Suggested that beach vacation. You were right, honey. I was burning out. Thank you for taking such good care of me. He beamed. Pulled me close. That's what husbands are for, sweetheart. Making sure their wives stay healthy. The irony would have been funny if it wasn't so horrifying. Chin called me 10 days later. We need to meet. I have something you need to see. We met at the same coffee shop. He slid an envelope across the table. Your husband has been having an affair for approximately 14 months. Her name is Amber Reeves. She's 28, works as a surgical nurse at his hospital. They meet 3 times a week at an apartment he's renting under an LLC. Here's the address. My hands shook as I opened the envelope. Photos of Devin entering a building with a young blonde woman. More photos of them kissing in the parking garage. Credit card statements showing payments to DR Enterprises, the LLC. Restaurant charges, jewelry purchases, hotel rooms. There's more, Chin said quietly. Ms. Reeves is pregnant. For months along. Everything stopped. The coffee shop noise faded. Pregnant. I have medical records confirming it. She's been seeing an OB-GYN. Your husband has attended appointments with her. I couldn't breathe. He knew. All those years I wanted a baby, all those tests, all that trying. He knew it wasn't happening and he moved on. Found someone else. Got her pregnant. Mrs. Morgan, there's something else. Chin pulled out another document. I accessed text messages between them. They're discussing moving in together after, and this is a direct quote. After everything is settled, they're planning a future. They've picked out baby names. She calls him Future Daddy. I looked at the messages. Screenshot after screenshot. Devin promising Amber they'd be together soon. Telling her he couldn't wait to start their family. Complaining about difficult conversations coming up. He's killing me so he can play house with her, I whispered. So he can have the baby he pretended to want with me. Chin nodded grimly. I'd say that's a strong motive for murder. Does she know? Amber, does she know what he's doing to me? Unknown. But they've discussed your declining health. He's told her you have a rare autoimmune disorder, that you're getting worse. She's expressed sympathy. So either she was complicit, or willfully blind. Either way, she was building her happiness on my grave. I need more, I said. I need proof she knows. Proof they're planning this together. Chin hesitated. That's difficult without. Plant cameras. In the apartment. Audio recording. Whatever it takes. I need to know if she's just a mistress or an accomplice. That would cost. I don't care. Do it. He did. 3 days later, the apartment was wired. Cameras in the living room, bedroom, kitchen. Audio in every room. Chin gave me access to the feed on my phone. That's when I learned the full truth. Watching your husband with another woman is torture. Watching him plan your murder with her is something else entirely. The first recording I accessed showed them in bed. Amber's blonde hair spread across the pillow, one hand on her swollen belly. Devon beside her, stroking her hair. How much longer? Amber asked. I want to tell people. I want to post about the baby. Soon, Devon said. Cass is getting worse. Her organs are failing. The doctors think it's some kind of progressive disease. They're talking about weeks, maybe a month or 2. That's so sad. Amber's voice dripped false sympathy. She's so young. It's not fair. I know, baby. But we can't control these things. All we can do is be ready for what comes next. When it happens, how long before we can be together? Like, publicly. We'll need to be respectful. 6 months, maybe. Then we can announce the baby as a blessing in my grief, a new beginning after tragedy. People eat that up. Amber giggled. You've thought this through. Every detail, sweetheart. Every detail. I watched this with my hand over my mouth, fighting nausea. The next recording, 2 days later, was worse. Did you transfer the money? Amber asked, painting her toenails on the couch. $5,000 this month, Devon confirmed. Into the account we opened for the baby. Once Cass is gone and I inherit, we'll have plenty. No more scraping by. No more of you working while pregnant. You can quit. Stay home. Focus on being a mother. How much will you get? The life insurance alone is $1 million. Then her real estate portfolio, probably another $1.5 million. The house, cars, retirement accounts. We're looking at close to $4 million total. Amber's eyes widened. Oh my God, Devon. $4 million. Give or take. And all of it transfers to me automatically as the surviving spouse. He smiled. We'll be set for life, baby. Private schools for our kids. That house you liked in Lincoln Park. Whatever you want. Our kids. Plural. She stroked her belly. You want more. At least 3. Build the family I never had with Cass. She was always too focused on work, too ambitious. You're different. You know what really matters. She kissed him. I love you so much. I love you too. Just a little longer, and we can stop hiding. I saved every recording. Every conversation about money, about their future, about how I was an obstacle to be waited out. Not a person. Not Devon's wife of 12 years. Just an inconvenient barrier between him and his mistress. But were they just waiting for me to die naturally from the poisoning? Or was there a backup plan? I got my answer a week later. Chin called, his voice urgent. Mrs. Morgan, you need to hear this. The audio from last night. He played it. Devon and Amber, in the apartment kitchen. What if it takes longer than you think? Amber said, what if she doesn't die for months? I'll be huge by then. People will ask questions. She won't last that long, Devon said. Her liver values are critical. Kidneys are failing. She's dying, Amber. It's just a matter of time. But what if the doctors figure it out? What if they realize it's not autoimmune? They won't. The symptoms match a dozen different conditions. By the time they narrow it down, she'll be gone. Devon. Amber's voice dropped. What if we sped things up? Silence. Then, what do you mean? I mean, what if she got worse suddenly? A medical crisis. You're a doctor. You'd know how. More silence. My heart hammered. I've thought about it, Devon finally said. There are ways. But it's risky. If anyone suspects. How would they? You're her husband. You're caring for her. Everyone sees that. The grieving spouse who did everything he could. What exactly are you suggesting? I don't know. You're the doctor. An accidental overdose. A sudden collapse. Something that looks natural but moves the timeline up. Amber. I'm just saying, if she's going to die anyway, Maybe it could happen sooner. For everyone's sake. So you're not in limbo, so we can start our life, so this baby doesn't have to be a secret. Let me think about it. Okay. But Devin, I need this resolved soon. I need to know we have a future. We do, baby. I promise. We do. The recording ended. I sat in my car, shaking. They weren't just waiting for me to die. They were discussing ways to hurry it along. This wasn't passive poisoning. This was active conspiracy to commit murder. I called Chin immediately. We have enough. It's time. Time for what? Time to go to the police. Time to destroy them both. But Chin stopped me. Mrs. Morgan, wait. Think strategically. Right now, you have evidence of poisoning, proof of motive, recordings of intent. But if you go to the police now, they arrest him, and what happens? He lawyers up. Maybe beats the charges on a technicality. The recordings might not be admissible because you obtained them without a warrant. The poisoning is hard to prove intent beyond reasonable doubt. And Amber walks free because discussing something isn't the same as doing it. So what are you saying? I'm saying, if you want real justice, you need them caught in the act. You need them to make a move that's undeniable, documented, witnessed. You need an ironclad case that no lawyer can wriggle out of. They're planning to kill me soon. How soon is soon? That's what we need to find out. And when they make their move, we'll be ready. The medical crisis came 3 weeks later. I was actually feeling better. I'd stopped taking the poison pills entirely, swapping them for placebos Devin never questioned. My liver and kidneys were slowly recovering. Dr. Wells monitored me weekly, documenting my improvement. Your body's remarkable, she said at my last appointment. The organ damage is reversing faster than I expected. Another month, and you'll be nearly back to normal. But I couldn't wait another month. Because that evening, I heard a recording that changed everything. Devin and Amber in the apartment. His voice tense, frustrated. She's not getting worse. If anything, she seems better. More energy, better color. I don't understand it. Maybe she stopped taking the vitamins? Amber suggested. She takes them every morning. I watch her swallow them. Then why isn't she dying? A long pause. Then, Devin, cold and calculated. I'll handle it. This weekend. Cass wants to go to that charity gala Saturday night, the one for children's cancer research. I'll drive. On the way home, I'll tell her I need to stop by the hospital to check on a patient. We'll take the route through Lincoln Park. That stretch by the pond. No cameras, minimal traffic at night. My blood froze. Amber, what are you going to do? Devin, stage an accident. Her symptoms have included dizziness, confusion. She's had episodes of disorientation. If she were driving and suddenly became confused, veered off the road into the pond, it would be tragic but explicable. Especially given her deteriorating health. You'd kill her in a car accident. I'd make it look like her illness caused a fatal episode while she was driving. No one would question it. They'd sympathize with me, the devoted husband who lost his wife to a mysterious disease. But you'd be in the car, too. I'll jump out before impact. Say I tried to grab the wheel but couldn't stop her. Minor injuries that make me look heroic for trying to save her. Devin, that's what needs to happen. Saturday night. Then within a month, you and I can start being seen together in public. Grieving widower finds solace in compassionate nurse who understood his pain. 6 months later, we announce the baby. A blessing after tragedy. The perfect story. I listened to this in my car outside a grocery store, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. He was going to murder me on Saturday. 5 days away. I called Chun. Saturday night. He's planning a car accident. We need to stop him but also catch him trying. That's incredibly dangerous. I don't care. Can you have police ready? Unmarked cars following us. Cameras recording. I want this documented from every angle. Chin was quiet. Let me make some calls. This has to be handled carefully. Within 2 hours, he called back. Detective Lisa Ramirez, Chicago PD. She's good, clean, been investigating medical professional crimes for years. I briefed her on everything. The poisoning, the recordings, the affair, Saturday's plan. She wants to meet with you tomorrow. Detective Ramirez was late 40s, sharp eyes, no-nonsense demeanor. We met at her office Thursday morning. Mrs. Morgan, I've reviewed all the evidence your investigator provided. the toxicology report, the recordings, the financial documentation. This is one of the most clear-cut cases of attempted murder I've seen. But there's a problem. What problem? The recordings were obtained without your husband's knowledge or consent. In Illinois, that makes them inadmissible in court without additional corroboration. The defense would argue invasion of privacy, illegal surveillance. The judge would likely suppress them. So 12 hours of him plotting my murder means nothing. It means a lot to me, because it tells me you're in real danger and your accusations are credible. But for a conviction, I need evidence obtained legally. I need him caught in the act, ideally while wearing a wire you consented to, or through proper police surveillance with warrants. Saturday night. The car. We can't let you get in a car with a man planning to kill you. That's not going to happen. But we can set a trap. A controlled situation where he believes he's executing his plan, but we're actually documenting everything. How? Ramirez leaned forward. Are you willing to wear a wire Saturday night? Get him talking in the car about what he's planning. Once he articulates intent and takes action, starts driving toward that pond, says anything incriminating, we move in. Arrest him before you're in actual danger. And Amber! We'll have officers at her apartment too. When we arrest him, we arrest her as an accessory. The recordings, while not admissible at trial, give us probable cause for warrants. We'll search his hospital locker, the apartment, pull official phone records. We'll build a legal case that puts them both away. What do I have to do? Saturday with a wire. Act normal. Let him drive. When he starts talking about the accident, or when he deviates toward the pond, you say a code phrase. Devin, I feel dizzy. That's our signal to move in. Unmarked cars will be following you the whole time. The moment you say those words, we block his car, extract you, and arrest him. If you're watching this story unfold and thinking this revenge gets even better, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, the justice is just getting started. Your support means everything to this channel. My mouth was dry. What if something goes wrong? Nothing will go wrong. You'll have 5 unmarked units within 50 yards at all times. You'll be wearing a GPS tracker in addition to the wire. We're not letting you out of our sight. Okay, let's do it. Saturday morning, I woke up next to my husband and looked at his sleeping face. This handsome, charming man I'd loved for 12 years. Who'd poison me daily. Who'd planned to drown me in a staged car accident. Who'd gotten another woman pregnant while I believed we were trying for a baby together. He opened his eyes, smiled. Morning, beautiful. I smiled back. Morning. Tonight, I thought. Tonight, your whole world ends. Saturday night. The Children's Cancer Research Foundation Gala at the downtown Hilton. I dressed carefully. An emerald green gown that had always been Devin's favorite, my grandmother's diamond earrings, hair professionally styled. I looked healthy, radiant even. Like a woman who had no idea she was supposed to die tonight. Detective Ramirez had arrived at the house earlier that afternoon, posing as a visiting friend. In my bedroom, she fitted me with a wire, a tiny microphone attached to my bra, transmitter secured at the small of my back, disguised by the gown's draping. Remember, she said, act natural. Let him drive. When he heads toward Lincoln Park, when he starts talking about the accident or makes any move that feels threatening, say, Devin, I feel dizzy. That's the signal. We move in within seconds. What if he realizes something's wrong? He won't. He thinks you're unsuspecting. He thinks you've been taking the poison pills all along and you're weak, confused. He thinks you're an easy target. She squeezed my hand. Show him how wrong he is. Devin appeared in the bedroom doorway. Cass, you look stunning. He kissed my cheek. His cologne, expensive, familiar, made my stomach turn. Ready. We drove to the gala in Devin's Mercedes. I forced myself to chat normally, laugh at his jokes, play the role of the devoted wife. At the hotel, we worked the room together. Devin was charming as always, shaking hands with hospital administrators, other physicians, potential donors. People stopped us constantly. Dr. Morgan, Mrs. Morgan, so good to see you. Cassandra, you look wonderful. We heard you've been ill. Just a rough patch, I said, smiling. But I'm better now. Devin took such good care of me. He squeezed my waist. That's what husbands are for. Every word was torture. Every smile fake. But I played my part perfectly. Around 10:30, Devin leaned close. Should we head out soon? I know you tire easily. Sure. Whenever you're ready. We said our goodbyes, collected our coats. In the parking garage, Devin opened the passenger door for me. Such a gentleman. Such a murderer. Thank you for coming tonight, he said, pulling out of the garage. I know these events aren't always easy when you're not feeling well. I wanted to support you. And the cause is important. You're important. He reached over, squeezed my hand. You know that, right? You're my whole world. The lie was breathtaking. I squeezed back. You too, honey. We drove north, toward Oak Park, the normal route home. But as we approached the turnoff for the highway, Devin kept going straight. Are we going home? I asked. I need to stop by the hospital real quick. Just 5 minutes. One of my post-op patients might need adjustment to their pain meds. I'll be super fast. Okay. But he didn't turn toward the hospital. He turned toward Lincoln Park. My heart started racing. This was it. Devin, the hospital's the other way. I'll cut through the park. Faster this time of night. He drove deeper into the park. Trees closed in on both sides. Minimal lighting. No other cars. The pond appeared ahead, dark water reflecting moonlight. Honey, where are we going? He didn't answer. His jaw was tight, hence gripping the wheel. The speedometer crept up. 45 miles per hour, 50. Too fast for this narrow road. Devin, slow down. I need to tell you something, Cass. His voice was strange. Flat. What? You've been sick for months. Deteriorating. The doctors don't know what's wrong with you. I'm getting better. No, you're not. You're dying. Your liver, your kidneys, they're failing. It's progressive. Irreversible. That's not. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I can't watch you suffer anymore. I can't watch you fade away, becoming a shadow of yourself. So I'm going to help you. End your pain. Make it quick. 55 miles per hour. The pond was 50 yards ahead. Devin, what are you talking about? You'll veer off the road. Into the water. It'll look like you became dizzy, lost control. No one will blame you. They'll blame your illness. And I tried to save you, Cass. I tried so hard to grab the wheel, but I couldn't stop you in time. 60 miles per hour. 30 yards. His hand moved to the steering wheel, preparing to jerk it left toward the water. I said the words. Devin, I feel dizzy. Instantly, lights flooded the road. 3 unmarked cars blocked the path ahead. More behind us. Devin slammed the brakes, the Mercedes skidding to a stop 20 feet from the pond. What the? Doors flew open. Officers emerged, weapons drawn. Step out of the vehicle. Hands where we can see them. Devin stared in shock. I opened my door, got out, walked calmly toward Detective Ramirez. She wrapped a protective arm around me. You did great. We got everything. Devin Morgan, you are under arrest for attempted murder. They pulled him from the car, slammed him against the hood, cuffed him. He kept turning his head toward me, confusion, and then dawning horror in his eyes. Cass! What is this? I walked up to him, looked him in the eye. This is me, refusing to die for you. I don't understand. The vitamins you've been giving me for months? Poison. Colchicine. I've had it tested. I have toxicology reports, medical documentation, recordings of you discussing it with your pregnant mistress. I have everything, Devin. Every lie, every plan, every disgusting detail. His face went white. You've been recording. For weeks. Your apartment with Amber is wired. I heard everything. The money discussions, the timeline, tonight's plan. You thought I was weak, confused, dying. But I was gathering evidence, building a case. And now, I smiled. Now you're going to prison for the rest of your life. Detective Ramirez pulled me back. We need to process him. You should go home, Mrs. Morgan. Officers will escort you. We'll need your formal statement tomorrow. What about Amber? Being arrested as we speak. Officers went to the apartment as soon as we had you secure. They put Devin in the back of a police car. As they drove away, he stared at me through the window. I stared back, unblinking, until he disappeared. Sunday morning, I woke up in my own bed for the first time in months feeling truly safe. My phone was flooded with messages. Natalie, Simone, colleagues, friends. News of Devon's arrest had spread fast. Prominent surgeon arrested for attempted murder of wife. The Tribune had it on the front page. Photos of Devon in handcuffs, being led into the police station. The story detailed the poisoning, the affair, the staged accident attempt. My name was kept confidential as the victim, but everyone who knew us would figure it out quickly. Natalie called, hysterical. Cass! Oh my God! I saw the news. Are you okay? Is it true? It's true. All of it. She sobbed. I can't believe. He seemed so perfect. How did we not see? He was good at hiding it. Really good. But I saw through it eventually. What do you need? I'm coming there right now. Nat, I'm okay. I promise. The police are watching the house. I'm safe. But I need you to not come. Not yet. I have to handle some things. Legal things. But soon, okay? We'll talk soon. She reluctantly agreed. Simone called next. Cass! Jesus Christ. I'm an attorney and I'm speechless. You need representation. Actually, yes. Can you recommend someone who handles this kind of case? Victims' rights, asset protection, restitution. I'll send you 3 names by noon. Top tier. They'll destroy him financially and legally. And Cass, I'm sorry I didn't see it. I should have. Stop. No one saw it. That was the point. He was careful. But not careful enough. Detective Ramirez called mid-morning. Mrs. Morgan, can you come to the station this afternoon? We need your formal statement. Bring the toxicology reports. Any documentation you have. Also, Devon's attorney is demanding he be allowed to post bail. We're opposing it, arguing he's a flight risk and a danger to you. The hearing is tomorrow. We need your testimony. I'll be there. At the police station, I gave a 4-hour statement. Every detail, from the first headaches to Saturday night. They recorded it, had me sign every page. Then Ramirez showed me interrogation footage. Devon in a small room, lawyer beside him. He looked haggard, defeated. Tell me again why you were driving toward that pond, the interrogator pressed. I told you. I was taking her to the hospital. I thought she was having a medical episode. At 60 miles per hour? In the dark? Through a park? I was panicking. And the statement you made in the car, recorded on your wife's wire. I'm going to help you. End your pain. Make it quick. How do you explain that? Devon's lawyer interjected. My client was speaking metaphorically, attempting to comfort his wife during what he perceived as a medical crisis. The interrogator smiled coldly. A medical crisis he caused by poisoning her for months? We deny any poisoning. The substances found in the vitamin bottle could have been contaminated accidentally. Contaminated with a prescription drug your client had access to through his hospital? A drug that requires specific authorization to obtain? That accidentally ended up in his wife's daily vitamins, which only he prepared and gave to her. The interrogator leaned forward. Counselor, even you don't believe that. Devon's lawyer looked uncomfortable. Devon himself said nothing, staring at the table. What about the recordings? The interrogator continued. The ones from your apartment with Amber Reeves? Where you discuss your wife's death, the timeline, how you'd inherit her money. Those recordings were obtained illegally, the lawyer countered. Inadmissible. For trial, maybe. But they gave us probable cause for warrants. We've searched your hospital locker, Dr. Morgan. Found a bottle of colchicine hidden in the back. Prescribed to a patient who doesn't exist. We've pulled your phone records. Thousands of texts between you and Ms. Reeves, discussing your plans. And Ms. Reeves is cooperating. She's already given a statement implicating you in exchange for a reduced charge. Devon's head snapped up. Amber wouldn't. She did. Threw you under the bus the second we offered her a deal. Said you manipulated her, told her your wife was dying anyway, that you were just speeding up the inevitable to spare her suffering. Painted herself as a naive, pregnant victim of your manipulation. Devon slumped. I want to make a deal. Devon, don't. His lawyer started. I want to make a deal. I'll plead guilty to attempted poisoning, reckless endangerment, whatever. But not attempted murder. Say I made a mistake with the vitamins, didn't realize the dosage, panicked when she got sick. I'll do 5 years, probation, whatever you want. But not murder. No deal, the interrogator said. You systematically poisoned your wife for months with intent to kill and inherit her assets. You planned to stage a fatal accident. You're being charged with attempted first-degree murder, attempted vehicular homicide, conspiracy to commit murder, and about 6 other felonies. You're looking at 30 years minimum. Devon's lawyer stood. This interview is over. Ramirez turned off the video. He's going to trial. His lawyer thinks he can create reasonable doubt about intent. But with your testimony, the medical records, the wire recording from Saturday night, and Amber's cooperation, we have an ironclad case. What about Amber? She's getting a deal. Reduced charges, conspiracy and accessory after the fact. Probably 3 to 5 years. She's also being sued civilly by you. We'll help you file that. Good. I want her to pay too. The bail hearing was a spectacle. Devon's lawyer argued he was a respected surgeon, pillar of the community, no prior record deserving of bail. The prosecutor presented my wire recording from Saturday night. Played Devon's voice. I'm going to help you. End your pain. Make it quick. Then the interrogation footage where he tried to make a deal. The judge denied bail. Given the severity of the charges, the evidence of premeditation, and the clear danger posed to the victim, the defendant will be remanded without bail pending trial. Devon was let out in handcuffs. He looked back at me once. I stared back, expressionless. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed me. Mrs. Morgan, how does it feel knowing your husband tried to kill you? What made you suspicious? Did you know about the affair? Are you filing for divorce? Detective Ramirez and court security escorted me to a waiting car. No comment, I repeated. My attorney will make a statement later. But I did make one statement, carefully prepared with legal counsel. I'm grateful to be alive and to the Chicago Police Department for their swift action. My husband, Dr. Devon Morgan, systematically poisoned me for months and attempted to stage my death as an accident to inherit my assets and start a new life with his mistress. The evidence is overwhelming. Justice will be served. To any woman who feels something is wrong in her marriage, who senses danger but doubts herself, trust your instincts. Document everything. Seek help. You're not paranoid. You're protecting yourself. The statement went viral. Within hours, #TrustYourInstincts was trending. Women shared stories of their own suspicious situations, near misses, times they've been gaslit by partners. Devon's hospital suspended him immediately, pending investigation. The Illinois Medical Board opened proceedings to revoke his license. Amber Reeves lost her nursing position. The hospital cited moral turpitude and conduct unbecoming a healthcare professional. Her nursing license was suspended. I filed for divorce immediately. Illinois law allows for fault-based divorce in cases of adultery, attempted murder, or cruelty. I cited all 3. My attorney, a shark named Helena Burke recommended by Simone, went nuclear. We're seeking full forfeiture of any marital assets, dissolution of any rights to your separate property, full restitution for medical expenses, pain and suffering, and punitive damages. When we're done, he won't have enough money for decent prison commissary. The civil suit against both Devon and Amber sought $10 million in damages. We'd never collect that much, but the point was to ensure they emerged from prison broke and branded forever. As for the prenup, Helena smiled coldly. Prenups typically include morality clauses. Let me guess, infidelity voids his claims to marital assets. I pulled out our prenup. Section 7, C. In the event of marital dissolution due to infidelity, adultery, or criminal conduct by either party, said party forfeits all claims to marital property and spousal support. Beautiful, Helena said. He gets nothing. Not the house, not the cars, not a penny of alimony. And we'll ensure he pays every cent of your legal fees, medical bills, and punitive damages. Devon's assets were frozen pending the criminal and civil outcomes. His expensive attorney was now working for a promise of future payment from family members. Meanwhile, I took control of my life again. First, I sold our house. Too many memories. Too much poison in those walls. Bought a stunning condo downtown with a doorman, security, and a view of Lake Michigan. Fresh start, new space. Second, I focused on my health. The colchicine damage was reversible with proper treatment. Within 6 weeks of stopping the poison, My liver enzymes normalized. Kidney function returned. I gained back the weight, regained my energy. Dr. Wells marveled at my recovery. "You're a medical miracle," she said. "I'm a woman who refused to die." Third, I returned to work. My clients had been understanding during my illness. Now, with my health restored and the story of my survival splashed across headlines, business boomed. People wanted to work with the woman who'd outsmarted her murderous husband. Natalie visited once I was ready. We sat in my new condo, drinking wine, crying and laughing. "I worshipped him," she said. "I thought he was perfect. How did I not see? He fooled everyone. That was his talent. But you saw through it. Eventually, when I stopped doubting myself and started trusting what my body was telling me." Simone visited too. "You know what I love about this," she said. "He thought you were weak, sick, vulnerable, easy prey. And you turned it around completely. Used his arrogance against him. He underestimated me. They always do." The trial began 8 months after Devon's arrest. The prosecution was methodical, devastating. They presented the toxicology reports showing colchicine in my blood and in the vitamin bottle, medical testimony from Dr. Wells documenting my symptoms and recovery timeline, pharmacy records showing Devon purchased colchicine under false patient records, the wire recording from Saturday night, Devon's voice clear. "I'm going to help you. End your pain. Make it quick." Text messages between Devon and Amber discussing my death, their future, the inheritance. Financial records showing Devon secretly preparing for my death, moving money, opening accounts, planning investments. Testimony from Marcus Chun, the PI, detailing months of surveillance. Detective Ramirez explaining the arrest and Devon's subsequent attempted plea bargain. The defense tried to argue accident, misunderstanding, mental health crisis. Devon's attorney painted him as a dedicated doctor who made tragic mistakes under stress. But then I testified. Helena prepped me carefully. Calm, factual, emotional only when natural. Let the jury see you as the competent, strong woman you are, not a victim. Show them how he manipulated and underestimated you. I took the stand wearing a navy suit, hair pulled back, minimal jewelry. Professional, composed. The prosecutor walked me through everything. The marriage, the symptoms, the discovery, the investigation, Saturday night. "Mrs. Morgan, when your husband said, 'I'm going to help you. End your pain. Make it quick,' what did you understand that to mean?" That he intended to drive the car into the pond and claim I had a medical episode. That he was going to murder me and stage it as an accident related to my illness. The illness he caused? Yes. How did that make you feel? I looked at the jury. Terrified, furious, betrayed, but also determined. Because I realized in that moment that everything I'd suspected was true. And I was not going to let him win. Devon's attorney cross-examined me, trying to suggest I'd misunderstood, that Devon was speaking metaphorically, that I was vindictive about the affair. "Mrs. Morgan, isn't it true you only went to police after discovering your husband's infidelity?" "No. I went to the police after discovering he was poisoning me. The affair was secondary." "But you were angry about the affair?" "I was angry about being murdered. The affair was just his motive. You recorded my client without his knowledge, invaded his privacy. I documented my would-be murderer planning my death." "Yes." The jury didn't need long. 3 hours of deliberation. Guilty on all counts. Devon showed no emotion as the verdict was read, but I saw his hand shaking. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. The judge, the same woman who denied bail, was thorough. "Dr. Devon Morgan, you abused your position as a physician, your knowledge of medicine, and your wife's trust to attempt to murder her for financial gain. You showed no remorse, no recognition of the severity of your actions. You endangered Mrs. Morgan's life for months, caused severe medical trauma, and would have succeeded if not for her intelligence and courage." She paused, looking at him directly. "The law allows me to sentence you to 30 years for attempted first-degree murder, plus consecutive time for the other charges. Based on the aggravating factors, abuse of professional knowledge, premeditation, financial motive, and endangerment of life, I'm sentencing you to the maximum. 30 years for attempted murder, 10 years for attempted vehicular homicide, 5 years for conspiracy, to be served consecutively. Total sentence, 45 years in state prison, no possibility of parole before 30 years served. Devin was 41. He'd be 71 at earliest parole. Likely 86 before release. His life was over. Amber Reeves, in exchange for her testimony, received 5 years with possibility of parole after 3. Her baby was born in prison. She gave the child up for adoption. The civil suit concluded 6 months after the criminal trial. The court awarded me $8.2 million in damages, $2 million compensatory for medical expenses and suffering, $6.2 million punitive. Devin had no assets to pay it. His medical license was permanently revoked. His family refused to help. The judgment would follow him forever, unpaid but permanent, ensuring he emerged from prison with nothing. The divorce was finalized simultaneously. I received everything. The marital home, already sold, all marital assets, full ownership of my separate property, 0 obligation to Devin. Helena smiled as we left the final hearing. He literally ends up with nothing. No freedom, no money, no career, no family. Complete destruction. Good. 2 years after Devin's arrest, my life looks nothing like it did. I sold my real estate business at the peak of the market for a substantial profit. Used some of the money to start a nonprofit, Women Against Domestic Poisoning. We educate women about the warning signs, provide resources for toxicology testing, partner with DA's offices to prosecute cases. I travel constantly now, speaking engagements, consulting with law enforcement, training medical professionals to recognize patterns of poisoning. I wrote a book, The Vitamin That Almost Killed Me, which became a bestseller. I'm dating again. His name is Dr. James Warren, an emergency room physician I met at a medical conference. He's patient, kind, and most importantly, he understood when I asked him to let me watch him prepare meals for the first 3 months of dating. Trust is earned, he said simply. I'll earn it. Natalie and I are closer than ever. She divorced Marcus after discovering he'd been embezzling from his company. Turns out my situation made her look harder at her own marriage. We joke darkly that our family has terrible taste in men. Simone retired from family law. After your case, everything else feels boring, she said. Now she teaches, writes, occasionally consults on high-profile cases. I run marathons. Took up boxing. Traveled to places Devin always refused to go. Thailand, Morocco, Argentina. I bought a weekend house in Michigan, on the water, where I paint and read and breathe clean air. Every morning, I take real vitamins. From bottles I purchase myself, that I open myself, that no one else touches. I'm 41 now. Healthy. Strong. Free. Devin is in Stateville Maximum Security Prison, about 40 miles from Chicago. I've never visited, never written, never acknowledged his letters, of which he sent dozens. His family occasionally reaches out, asking me to show mercy, to help with his appeal. I ignore them all. But if I could speak to him, if he could hear me, this is what I'd say. Devin, you thought I was weak. You thought my trust was stupidity, my love was blindness. You thought you could slowly poison me, watch me deteriorate, and I'd never suspect the man who vowed to protect me was the one destroying me. You thought I was too sick, too confused, too desperate for your approval to question the vitamins you handed me every morning. You thought you were smarter, more calculating, more capable of deception than I was of detection. You were wrong. Every day you spent plotting my death, I was gathering evidence. Every lie you told, I documented. Every moment you spent with Amber imagining your future with my money, I was building the case that would destroy you. You wanted me dead, so you could play house with your pregnant mistress, raise the baby I couldn't give you, spend the money I earned, live in the comfort I built. Instead, you're in prison. She gave up your baby. You have nothing. I hope every morning when you wake up in that cell, you remember what you had. A wife who loved you, a beautiful home, financial security, respect, a career. I hope you remember throwing it all away because you wanted more and were too cowardly to just ask for a divorce. I hope you think about that moment in the car when the police lights filled your rearview mirror and you realized I'd outplayed you. That the sick, weak woman you've been poisoning had been 10 steps ahead the entire time. I hope you know that while you age in prison, I'm living my best life. Traveling. Thriving. helping other women escape men like you, writing books, falling in love again, actually living while you exist in a cage. You tried to bury me. You didn't realize I was a seed. I grew back stronger, smarter, angrier. And I used that anger to ensure you'd never hurt anyone again. Our daughter, the one I wanted desperately that you pretended to want, she's not yours. She's not Amber's, given up in shame. She doesn't exist, and that's your legacy. No children, no family, no future, just decades of regret in a cell. I don't forgive you. I won't pray for you. I won't waste another moment of my precious life thinking about you beyond sharing the story so other women know the signs, trust their instincts, fight back. You wanted to end my life. Instead, you ended your own. Thank you for showing me what I'm capable of when someone pushes me to the edge. Thank you for underestimating me so completely that my victory was inevitable. Thank you for failing. I'm the one who survived. You're the one who's buried. And that, Devin, is justice. 3 years after the trial, something unexpected happened. I received a call from the Illinois Department of Corrections, a victim services coordinator named Patricia Dunn. Mrs. Morgan, I'm calling about inmate Devin Morgan. He's requested to add you to his approved visitor list. Absolutely not. I understand. But there's more. He's also requesting to speak with you through our mediated victim offender dialogue program. It's entirely voluntary on your part, but he claims he has information you'd want to hear. Information about the poisoning that didn't come out at trial. My stomach clenched. What kind of information? He wouldn't say. Only that it concerns other people who knew what he was doing. He says he's willing to provide sworn testimony if you'll agree to meet with him once. I was silent for a long moment. I'll think about it. I called Helena Burke immediately. What's the angle? Could be genuine remorse. More likely he wants something. Reduced sentence, transfer to a better facility, or he's trying to manipulate you again. My advice: don't go. You owe him nothing. But curiosity gnawed at me. What if someone else had known? What if there were other victims? 2 weeks later, I found myself driving to Stateville with Detective Ramirez and a victim advocate. The prison was bleak, surrounded by high concrete walls topped with razor wire. We went through extensive security, metal detectors, searches, locked doors that clanged shut behind us. They brought me to a small conference room. Gray walls, table bolted to the floor, cameras in every corner. Devin was already there, shackled at the wrists and ankles, wearing an orange jumpsuit. He'd aged dramatically. Gray hair, deep lines around his eyes, the arrogant confidence completely gone. When he saw me, his eyes filled with tears. Cass, thank you for coming. I didn't think you would. I sat across from him, Detective Ramirez beside me. I'm here for 5 minutes. Talk. He took a shaky breath. I need you to know I'm sorry. Genuinely sorry. Not because I got caught, but because I finally understand what I did to you. The counseling here, the therapy, I've had time to really look at myself. And I'm horrified. That's nice, Devin. But you said you had information. I do. He leaned forward as much as the chains allowed. My mother knew. The room went silent. What? My mother. Helen. She knew I was poisoning you. Not at first, but about 6 weeks before your arrest, she figured it out. My blood ran cold. Devin's mother, Helen Morgan. Sweet, elderly Helen who'd always been kind to me, who'd sent me care packages during my illness, who'd cried at Devin's sentencing, swearing her son was innocent. Explain, Detective Ramirez demanded. Devin's voice was hollow. She came to visit one afternoon. You were at work. She was putting groceries away and found the bottle of colchicine in the back of the pantry where I'd hidden it. She asked what it was for. I panicked, told her it was for a patient I was treating at home. She's a retired nurse. She knew that was bullshit. No doctor treats gout patients at home with that drug. He paused, swallowing hard. She confronted me. Said she knew I was having an affair, knew Amber was pregnant, knew you were sick. She put it together. And I broke down. Admitted everything. Told her I couldn't stop, that I was in too deep, that if you got better you'd figure it out. What did she do? I asked, my voice barely audible. She said, his voice cracked. She said, then you'd better be more careful. Measure the doses precisely. Keep records. And for God's sake, don't leave evidence lying around. She helped me, Cass. My own mother helped me try to kill you. The room spun. Helen Morgan, who'd visited me in the hospital after the arrest, holding my hand, telling me how shocked she was, how her son had lost his mind, how she'd testify for me if needed. She'd been lying, protecting him, complicit. Detective Ramirez was already on her phone, stepping out of the room. I heard her barking orders. I need a warrant for Helen Morgan's residence. We're reopening the investigation. I looked at Devin. Why are you telling me this now? Because she's writing a book. His laugh was bitter. My mother is writing a book about her innocent son, the devoted physician who was railroaded by a vindictive wife. She's shopping it to publishers, calling it a mother's fight for justice. She's going on talk shows, starting a podcast, raising money for my appeals. And it's all lies. So you're turning on her to stop the book. I'm turning on her because I'm trying to be better than I was. Because she enabled murder and deserves to be held accountable. And because he met my eyes. Because maybe if I do this one right thing, this one honest thing, it'll mean something. I can't undo what I did to you. I can't give you back those months of suffering. But I can make sure she doesn't profit from it. Detective Ramirez returned. We're executing the warrant tonight. If what you're saying is true, we'll need your full cooperation. Sworn deposition, testimony, everything. You'll have it, Devin said. All of it. I stood up. I hope you rot in here, Devin. And I hope your mother rots right beside you. He nodded slowly. I understand. For what it's worth, I know it's worth nothing. I truly am sorry. I walked out without looking back. The investigation into Helen Morgan moved swiftly. Searching her home, detectives found Devin's journals from the poisoning period documenting doses and my symptoms. She kept them, hidden in her attic, as insurance, in case Devin turned on her. They also found drafts of her book manuscript, emails with literary agents, and most damning, text messages between Helen and Devin from the month before my arrest. Messages where she advised him on dosage adjustments, warned him about potential detection methods, and discussed timeline strategies. Your wife is getting suspicious, Helen had texted. You need to either increase the dose and finish this quickly, or stop entirely and wait for another opportunity. Halfway measures are how you get caught. Devin had responded, I can't stop now. She's too close to figuring it out. I'll stage the accident this weekend. Helen, be careful. Make sure it looks natural. No hesitation marks. Commit fully or don't do it at all. She was charged as an accessory to attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and obstruction of justice for concealing evidence. At her trial, 6 months later, the prosecution painted her as the mastermind behind the final escalation, the car accident plan. Helen Morgan wasn't just a passive observer, the prosecutor argued. She actively coached her son on how to murder his wife more effectively. She provided tactical advice. She hid evidence. She lied to police. And after his arrest, she launched a media campaign to profit from his crime while portraying him as a victim. She's as guilty as he is. The jury agreed. Helen Morgan, age 67, was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The media frenzy was intense. Mother and son, a murder conspiracy, ran the Tribune headline. I did one interview with 60 Minutes because I wanted to control the narrative. The interviewer, a sharp woman named Carol Henderson, asked the question everyone wanted answered. How does it feel knowing your mother-in-law helped your husband try to kill you? It feels like betrayal layered upon betrayal, I said calmly. Devin's crime was personal. He wanted my money, wanted his mistress, wanted me gone. That's almost understandable in its selfishness. But Helen, she had nothing to gain except her son's happiness. She chose his freedom over my life. She advised him on how to murder me more efficiently. That's a different kind of evil. That's love, corrupted into something monstrous. Do you hate her? I don't waste energy on hate, but I'm satisfied she's in prison. She made her choices. Now she lives with them. The publicity brought more women forward. Women who'd been poisoned by partners, who'd been gaslit about their symptoms, who'd nearly died because they trusted the wrong person. My nonprofit exploded in size. We secured federal grants, partnered with the CDC, established protocols for testing in suspicious cases. One woman, Margaret Chun, reached out personally. Her husband had been a pharmacist who'd slowly poisoned her with blood pressure medication that was actually causing dangerously low blood pressure. She'd nearly died before her daughter, a medical student, figured it out. "Your story saved my life," Margaret said when we met. "I saw you on TV, heard you talk about trusting your instincts. I'd been doubting myself, thinking I was imagining things. But your courage gave me courage. I went to the police. He's in prison now." Stories like Margaret's made everything worthwhile. The trauma, the fear, the violation of trust, it all had meaning if it helped others survive. James, my boyfriend, proposed on the 2-year anniversary of Devon's sentencing. We were in Mexico, on a beach at sunset. He didn't kneel, just took my hand and said, "I know you've been hurt. I know you've been betrayed in the worst possible way. I can't promise I'll never hurt you. Humans hurt each other sometimes. But I can promise I'll never deliberately harm you. I'll never put my interests above your safety. And I'll spend every day earning your trust. Will you marry me?" I said yes. We married quietly, just family and close friends. Natalie was my maid of honor. Simone officiated. The ceremony was short, the vows simple. We promised honesty, transparency, and above all, respect for each other's autonomy. On our wedding night, James handed me an envelope. Inside was a document, a post-nuptial agreement drafted by his attorney. "I want you to always know," he said, "that I'm with you for you. Not your money, not your assets, not what you can give me. This agreement ensures that if we ever divorce, for any reason, I waive all claims to your property, your business, everything you had before me. I keep what's mine, you keep what's yours. No ambiguity." I cried reading it. "You didn't have to do this." "Yes, I did. Because you deserve to feel safe." 4 years after Devon's arrest, I received a letter from Amber Reeves. It had been forwarded through my attorney, per my instructions that Amber was never to have my direct contact information. Helena called me before sending it. "It's thick, probably 10 pages. Do you want me to read it first?" "No. Send it. I'll decide if I want to read it." The letter arrived 2 days later. I sat in my home office, James working quietly beside me, and opened it. "Dear Cassandra," it began, "I don't have the right to ask for your time or attention. I know that, but I'm writing anyway because I need to say things I should have said years ago." She went on to describe her pregnancy in prison, the birth, the moment she held her son, Devon's son, and realized she couldn't keep him. I looked at him and saw Devon's face. I couldn't separate the baby from the crime, from what we'd done to you. She'd given the baby up for adoption to a couple in Iowa. I pray every day they never tell him who his biological parents are, that he grows up thinking he came from good people, not monsters. Amber wrote about her time in prison, the therapy, the gradual understanding of what she participated in. I told myself I was in love, that Devon was a victim of a loveless marriage, that you were cold, distant, that he deserved happiness. I believed his lies because it was easier than facing the truth. I was helping a man murder his wife for money. She described watching my 60 Minutes interview from the prison common room. "When you talked about betrayal layered upon betrayal, I knew you were talking about me too. Not just Devon and his mother, but me, the woman who knew you were dying and didn't care, who discussed your death like it was a business transaction, who prioritized a stolen relationship over your life." The letter ended with, "I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm writing to tell you that you were right about everything, that your strength inspired me to finally face what I'd done, that when I'm released in 8 months, I'm dedicating my life to helping women escape abusive relationships. It's not redemption. There is no redemption for what I did. But maybe it's something. Maybe I can stop one man from doing to another woman what Devon did to you. I hope you're happy. I hope you're thriving. I hope you never think of me again. You deserve peace. Amber." I read the letter twice, then filed it away in a folder marked Closed Chapters. James looked up from his laptop. "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking I don't forgive her, but I believe she's sorry. And that's enough. Will you write back?" "No. She was right about one thing. I deserve to never think of her again." 5 years after Devon's sentencing, I testified before Congress. The House Judiciary Committee was holding hearings on domestic violence and financial abuse. They'd invited me to speak about poisoning as a form of intimate partner violence. I sat at the witness table, facing rows of representatives, cameras everywhere, and told my story. Not for sympathy, but for policy change. Current laws treat poisoning inconsistently, I testified. In my case, my husband faced attempted murder charges because I survived and gathered evidence. But many women don't survive. And when they don't, poisoning is often misdiagnosed as natural causes. Autopsies don't automatically screen for every poison. Families don't think to request toxicology testing. Murderers get away with it. I proposed mandatory toxicology screening in any sudden death of a woman under 60 where domestic violence had been reported, suspected, or documented in the past. I proposed federal funding for training law enforcement to recognize signs of poisoning. I proposed resources for survivors. The testimony went viral. Within weeks, 3 states had introduced legislation based on my proposals. Within a year, federal funding was allocated for training programs. I'd turned my trauma into tangible change. 6 years after Devon's arrest, I did something I thought I'd never do. I went to the prison, not to see Devon, but to speak to a group of inmates in a rehabilitation program. The program focused on men who'd committed crimes against intimate partners, teaching accountability and prevention of future violence. Detective Ramirez came with me, along with 2 victim advocates. We sat in a circle with 15 men, all serving time for domestic violence offenses ranging from assault to attempted murder. I told my story, not the version from news articles, but the raw version. How I'd loved Devon. How I'd ignored signs because I wanted to believe in our marriage. How the poisoning had felt, the physical pain, the mental confusion, the terror when I realized what was happening. I didn't survive because I was strong, I said. I survived because I got lucky. Lucky that I had access to good medical care. Lucky that I could afford a private investigator. Lucky that my doctor believed me. Lucky that I had the resources to fight back. Most women don't have that luck. One inmate, a man about Devon's age named Robert, raised his hand. What do you want from us? From men like me, who did what we did. I want you to understand that your victim lives with what you did forever. Even if she survived, even if she thrived, she's changed. Every relationship after you is colored by what you did. Every time she takes medication, gets in a car, trusts someone, your crime is there. You don't get to apologize your way out of that. The best thing you can do is change, genuinely change, and make sure you never hurt anyone again. And maybe, if you have the chance, help other men avoid becoming what you became. Robert nodded slowly. Thank you for coming here. For telling us this. We need to hear it. As we left, one of the correctional officers told me Devon had heard about my visit. He asked if you'd seen him. I told him no. He cried. Good, I said. 7 years after the arrest, on a cold November morning, I stood at a press conference announcing the passage of the Cassandra Morgan Domestic Poisoning Prevention Act in Illinois. The act required mandatory toxicology screening in suspicious deaths, provided funding for victim resources, and established training programs for medical professionals and law enforcement. 5 other states had passed similar legislation. Federal bills were pending. Governor Martinez stood beside me as I spoke to the gathered media. This law won't bring back the women who've been murdered by poisoning. It won't undo the trauma suffered by survivors, but it will save lives. It will catch killers, and it will send a message that this particular form of intimate partner violence will no longer be invisible. Reporters asked questions. One raised her hand. Mrs. Morgan, do you ever worry that Devon Morgan will be released someday? That he'll come after you? No, I said firmly. Devon Morgan is a broken man serving 45 years in prison. By the time he's eligible for parole, he'll be in his 70s. His medical license is permanently revoked. His reputation is destroyed. His mother is in prison because of him. His son was given up for adoption. He has nothing and no one. I don't fear him. I pity him. Another reporter. What would you say to women who suspect they're being poisoned but are afraid to act? I looked directly into the camera. Trust yourself. Your body is telling you something is wrong. Document everything. Symptoms, medications, who prepares your food when you feel worse. Get independent medical testing. Tell someone you trust. And most importantly, know that leaving is not betrayal. Protecting yourself is not cruelty. You deserve to live. Act accordingly. The press conference ended. Governor Martinez shook my hand. You've turned tragedy into legacy. That takes remarkable strength. It takes remarkable anger, I corrected. Strength comes later. Anger gets you through. She laughed. Well, whatever fueled it, you've saved lives. Thank you. Today, 8 years after Devin first tried to kill me, I'm 47 years old. I wake up every morning in my home. Not Devin's home, not a house tainted with poisoned memories, but my home that I chose, that I filled with light and art and love. James is beside me. We've been married 3 years. We're happy. Not perfect. No marriages, but healthy, honest, built on respect. I run my nonprofit full-time now. We've helped over 500 women escape situations like mine. We've provided toxicology testing, legal support, safe housing, and therapy. 32 men have been convicted of poisoning their partners because of our intervention. I wrote a second book, a practical guide for survivors. After the poison, rebuilding trust in yourself and others. It sits on bestseller lists, gets assigned in college courses, shows up in therapists' offices nationwide. I still see Dr. Wells quarterly, not because I need to, but because I want to. She's become a friend, someone who understood the medical nightmare and helped me navigate it. Natalie and I are closer than ever. She remarried, a good man this time, someone steady and kind. Her kids call me Aunt Cass. Simone retired to a cabin in Colorado where she writes mystery novels. Every protagonist is a woman who outsmarts a killer. I'm flattered to have inspired her career change. Devin is still in prison. I never think about him anymore unless someone asks about the case. He's irrelevant to my life, a cautionary tale I tell to help others, nothing more. Helen Morgan died in prison 3 years into her sentence. Heart attack. I didn't attend the funeral. Amber Reeves was released 2 years ago. True to her letter, she works for a domestic violence shelter in Ohio. We've never met, never spoken. I hope she's genuinely changed. I hope she helps women escape the kind of situation she helped create for me. But I don't need to know. That chapter is closed. My life now is full of purpose, joy, love, and safety. I travel extensively. I speak internationally. I'm writing a third book. James and I are considering adoption, creating the family Devin pretended to want but never did. Every single day, I take my vitamins. Real vitamins, from bottles I purchase myself, that I store in a locked cabinet that only I touch. Every single day, I remember how close I came to dying. And every single day, I'm grateful I trusted my instincts, fought back, and won. Devin wanted to bury me, but he forgot that some women are seeds. We don't just grow back, we bloom. Thank you for staying with me through this entire story. If you're feeling that same satisfaction I felt watching Justice Served, check out the other videos on screen. They're just as intense. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button. I'll see you in the next story.